这个故事如果你听起来不累，那么你的英语能力在美国日常生活是完全够用的。像学母语一样学英语，我们开始吧。
Life is full of shut doors, and you never know the biggest, strangest chance was about to knock on the door. For the Kim family, many doors seemed shut. The father, Frank, his wife, their son Kevin, and their daughter Jessica lived in a little home. Their home was small and low, halfway under the ground. They did not have much money, but they were a smart family, always hoping a new door would open for them very soon. One afternoon, Kevin's good friend Min came to visit. Min was going to study in another country. He brought two things for Kevin. The first was a large, smooth, gray scholar's rock. Min said, "This rock is special. It is supposed to bring good luck. It might help your family get money." Kevin took the heavy rock. He was not sure what it would do. The second thing Min told him was about a job. "The Park family is very, very rich," Min said. "I teach English to their daughter. She is a teenager. Now I am leaving. I want you to have the job, Kevin. Just tell them you go to a big university." Kevin had not really gone to a university. His family did not have money for that. But he was smart. His sister, Jessica, was very good with computers. She could make almost anything look real on paper. She quickly made a fake paper for Kevin. The paper looked like it was from a famous university. It said Kevin was a student there. Kevin took the fake paper and the heavy scholar's rock. He went to the Park family's house. It was an amazing house. It was so big and modern, like a beautiful castle. It had a huge green lawn all around it. Kevin felt very small as he walked up the long path to the front door. He met Linda. Linda was the mother in the rich Park family. She was pretty and wore nice clothes. She seemed very kind. She also seemed a little bit simple and trusted people easily. Kevin acted very polite. He acted smart and sure of himself. Linda liked him very much. She hired him to be the English teacher for her daughter. Kevin was very happy. This was a good first step. Soon, Kevin thought of another idea. He saw that Linda's young son, a little boy, was full of energy and liked to draw, but he was also a little wild. "I know a very good art teacher," Kevin told Linda one day. He spoke in a soft, knowing voice. "Her name is Jessica. She studied art in America. She is very good with children who are creative and full of energy, like your son." Of course, Jessica was really Jessica, Kevin's clever sister. Jessica dressed up in stylish clothes. She acted very serious. She acted like she knew everything about art and how children think. Linda wanted the best things for her son. She was very impressed with this Jessica. She hired Jessica right away to help her son with his art. Now, two people from the Kim family worked for the Parks. Next, Jessica made a plan to help their father, Frank. The Park family had a driver. The driver took Linda's husband, a rich businessman, to work every day. One day, Jessica was riding in the rich man's car. She secretly took off her underwear. She hid it in the back seat. Later, the rich man found it. He was very surprised and angry. He thought his driver had been doing bad things in his car. Linda was also very upset, so they told the driver he could not work for them anymore. Then Jessica gave Linda a business card. She said, "This driver is very good. He is careful and does not talk too much." The card, of course, was for her father, Frank. Frank came to the house. He acted like a very respectful driver. He acted like he was very skilled. He drove the rich man's car so smoothly. It felt like floating on air. The rich man was very happy with him. So Frank got the job. Now 3 Kims worked there. The last person they needed to get out was the housekeeper. Her name was Agnes. She had worked in the beautiful house for many, many years. She worked there even before the Park family moved in. She knew all the secrets of the house. It would be hard to make her leave. The Kim family made a new plan together. It was a very clever plan, but also a bit mean. They found out that Agnes got very sick if she was near peaches. The fuzzy skin of a peach made her cough and sneeze very hard. It made her skin itch. Jessica got some fuzz from a peach. She secretly sprinkled it on Agnes. Agnes started coughing very, very hard. She could hardly breathe. She looked quite sick. The Kims then made Linda think that Agnes had a very bad sickness. They said it was a sickness that other people could catch easily. Linda worried a lot about her children getting sick. She got very scared. She liked Agnes, but she told her she had to leave. Agnes was very sad. Her heart was broken. She loved working in that house. It felt like her own home. Then Frank told Linda about a company that finds good housekeepers. He gave her a fake card that looked very real. When Linda called the number, Frank's wife answered the phone. She pretended to be from the company. She said she knew a very good housekeeper. She recommended herself for the job, and Linda hired her. Now the whole Kim family worked for the rich Park family. Kevin was the English teacher, Jessica was the art helper, Frank was the driver, and Frank's wife was the housekeeper. The Park family did not know they were all one family. The Kims felt very smart and happy. Their big plan had worked. They were all earning good money. One weekend, the Park family decided to go camping. It was for their little son's birthday. The big, beautiful house was empty. It was left in the care of Frank's wife. That night, the entire Kim family came to the Park's house. They felt like they were kings and queens. They walked all around. They touched the expensive sofas and chairs. They explored all the big, bright rooms. They ate the park's fancy food. They drank their expensive drinks. They lay on the soft green grass in the giant yard. They looked up at the stars. They felt rich and powerful. You know, Frank said, feeling very good, the Parks are nice people. His wife thought for a moment. Then she said, they are nice because they are rich. If I had all this money, I would be nice too. Money is like a hot iron. It can smooth out all the wrinkles and worries in life. They laughed and talked. They dreamed about what it would be like if this wonderful house was really theirs all the time. But their happy dream was about to break. It started to rain. It rained very, very hard. The Park's camping trip would surely be stopped by the rain. Later that stormy night, the Kim family was still spread out in the Park's big living room. Suddenly the doorbell rang. Ding dong. Everyone in the Kim family jumped. They got very still. Who could be at the door at this late hour in such a terrible rain? It was Agnes. She was the old housekeeper who had been fired. She was standing at the door. She was all wet from the rain. She looked scared. Her face had a bruise on it. Please, Agnes said to Frank's wife, who opened the door a little bit. I left something very important in the basement. I must get it. Please just let me come in for 1 minute. Frank's wife hesitated, but Agnes looked so sad. So she opened the door. Agnes rushed inside. She did not stop to talk. She ran straight to the kitchen. Then she went to some large shelves against a wall. She pushed the shelves very hard. With a loud creak, a secret door opened in the floor. It led down a dark set of stairs. The Kims had worked in the house for weeks. They never knew that secret door was there. Agnes quickly went down the dark stairs. The Kims were very surprised. They were also a little scared. They followed her down. Deep under the house, in the dark, hidden room, was Agnes's husband. He was thin and pale. He looked like he had not seen the sun for many years. He had been living down there in secret for more than 4 years. He started living there when the house was sold to the Parks. Agnes had been secretly bringing him food all that time. He was hiding from some people he owed a lot of money to. The Kims were shocked. They could not believe it. But then Agnes heard them talking. She quickly understood that Frank, his wife Kevin, and Jessica were not separate workers. They were all one family. She knew they had tricked everyone. Now Agnes had their secret. "I will tell Linda everything," Agnes shouted. Her eyes were angry. "Unless you help my husband and me." A big, messy fight started in the bunker. The Kims fought with Agnes and her husband. They pushed and pulled. They shouted. Suddenly the phone rang upstairs. It was Linda. "The rain was too awful," Linda said on the phone. She sounded happy. "We had to stop camping. We are coming home now. We will be there in about 8 minutes. Can you make some ramdon for my son? He is so sad about the rain." Ramdon was a special noodle dish. 8 minutes. The Kims were filled with fear. They had to clean up the whole house very fast. It was a big mess from their party. They had to hide Agnes and her husband. They managed to push them back down into the secret room. During the fight, Agnes fell very badly down the dark stairs. She hit her head very hard. She lay still at the bottom and did not move. Her husband was trapped down there with her. He was crying. Frank, Kevin, and Jessica had no time to do anything else. They quickly hid under the large coffee table in the living room. They hid just as Linda, her husband, the rich man, and their little son walked in. They were shaking rain off their coats. The rich family sat on the sofa, right above where the Kims were hiding. Sometimes their feet even kicked the table. The Kims had to stay completely still. They had to be completely quiet. It felt like hours. It was a terrible, frightening hiding game. They heard Linda and her husband talking softly. Then the rich man said to his wife that Frank, the driver, had a certain smell. He said it was not a good smell. He said it was like an old wet radish, or like people who ride the subway train. Frank was hiding right under them. He heard every word. His face grew dark with anger. He felt a deep, bitter shame in his heart. That smell, he knew, was the smell of their poor, damp home. It was a smell he could never wash away. It was a smell that showed he was poor. When it was finally safe, very late at night, Frank, Kevin, and Jessica snuck out of the rich house. They ran home as fast as they could. The rain was still pouring down, but the rain had made a big flood in their part of the city. Their little semi-basement home was completely filled with dark, dirty water. Water from the overflowing toilets was everywhere. All their few things were wet and muddy. They were ruined. They had lost almost everything they owned. That night, they had to sleep on the cold floor of a big gym. Many other people were there, too. Their homes had also been flooded. Kevin held the big gray scholar's rock his friend had given him. It was wet and heavy in his hands. It did not feel very lucky at all now. He felt very sad and lost. The very next day, the sun was shining brightly. The sky was clear and blue. It was like the terrible storm had never happened. Linda called Jessica on the phone. She was having a big, fancy outdoor birthday party for her little son. It was in their beautiful green yard. She wanted Jessica to come and help. She wanted Kevin to come too. She wanted Frank to drive some guests. She wanted Frank's wife to prepare food. They all had to go. They had to work at the party. They had to act as if nothing was wrong. They had to smile, even though their own home was gone and their hearts were heavy and full of worry. Kevin felt very strange. He felt worried and a little sick. He did not want to go to the party. He took the big, heavy scholar's rock with him. He went down into the secret bunker under the rich house. Agnes, the old housekeeper, was there. She was dead. She had died from her fall. Her husband was there, too. He was full of deep sadness. He was also full of wild anger. Agnes's husband saw Kevin holding the rock. He suddenly attacked Kevin. He tried to get the rock. He hit Kevin on the head very, very hard with it. Kevin fell to the ground. His head was bleeding badly. He felt dizzy, and everything started to go dark. Then, Agnes's husband, his eyes looking crazy with sadness and anger, grabbed a big kitchen knife from the bunker. He ran out of the dark basement. He ran into the bright, sunny garden party. People were laughing and eating cake. They were listening to music. He ran right at Jessica, screaming. He stabbed Jessica with the knife. Jessica fell down onto the green grass. She was bleeding a lot. Everyone at the party started screaming. They ran in all directions. It was a terrible, scary mess. The little rich boy saw all the blood. He fainted and fell down. Linda's husband, the rich man, shouted at Frank, "Get the car keys, Kim! We have to take my son to the hospital right now." The car keys had fallen on the ground. They were near where Jessica lay bleeding. Agnes's husband was also there, being fought by Frank's wife. The rich man bent down. He tried to get the keys. As he did, he held his nose. He did this because he smelled the blood and dirt on Agnes's husband. It was the exact same look on his face that he had made when he talked about Frank's smell the night before. He looked like he smelled something very bad. Frank saw that look. He saw the rich man holding his nose. All the anger, all the shame, all the sadness that had been hiding deep inside Frank for so long just exploded. It was like a volcano. He still had the knife he had taken from Agnes's husband in the struggle. He ran at the rich man. He stabbed him. The rich man fell down. His eyes were wide with surprise and pain. Frank looked around. He saw all the screaming people. He saw the blood. He saw the big mess. Then he turned and ran away. No one knew where he went. Kevin woke up later. He was in a hospital. His head hurt very, very much. He had been hit with the rock. He learned that his beloved sister Jessica was dead. He cried and cried. His heart felt like it had broken into 1,000 tiny pieces. After some time, he and his mother talked to the police. The police told them they had done some bad things by tricking the Park family. But because of everything that had happened, they did not have to go to jail for a very long time. They went back to live in another little semi-basement home. It was much like their old one. It was small and dim. The police looked and looked for Frank, the father, but they could not find him anywhere. It was like he had just vanished from the earth. One cold, snowy night much later, Kevin went back to the big rich house on the hill. He climbed up and looked at it from far away. New people lived there now. They were a German family. They did not know anything about the Kims. They did not know about Agnes. They did not know about the secret room under their house. As Kevin watched the house in the falling snow, he saw a light. It was in one of the basement windows. The light was blinking on and off, on and off. It was blinking like a code, like a secret message. His heart started to beat very fast. It was his father, Frank. Frank was hiding in that dark secret bunker under the house. He had been there all this time. He had been there ever since that terrible day at the party. He could only sneak out very late at night. He did this when the new family was asleep. He found a little bit of food from their kitchen. He was trapped there. He was alone in the dark. He was just like Agnes's husband used to be. Frank was sending Kevin a letter using the blinking lights. He wrote that he was okay, but he missed them very much. He hoped Kevin and his mother were okay. Kevin's eyes filled with tears. He understood his father's message. He sat there in the cold snow. He wrote a letter back to his father. He did not use paper and pen. He wrote it in his mind. He wrote it in his heart. He told his father that he, Kevin, had a plan. He would go to a big school. He would study very hard. He would get a good job. He would work and work and work. He would make a lot of money. He would make so much money that one day, many years from now, he would be able to buy that big, beautiful house on the hill. And when he bought the house, his father could just walk up the stairs. He could walk up from that dark, lonely basement. He could walk out into the sunlight. He could walk into the green yard, and they would all be together again as a family. It was a beautiful dream. Kevin looked up from his own little semi-basement window. Buying that very big house seemed very, very far away. It seemed like a star he could not reach. Maybe it was impossible. But Kevin still held on to that small, weak hope. He had to.
作为一个母语非英语的人，能把故事听完，你的进步太大了，你离英语自由又近了一大步。我们下个视频见。